Bounded by 4 of the 5 Great Lakes, Michigan has the longest freshwater shoreline in the world. Each year, more than 3 million visitors flock to the region's azure waters for kayaking, sailing, and water skiing. But in the city of Dearborn is an institution that celebrates a popular pastime found on land: the Automotive Hall of Fame. The collection includes a mid-century black Jaguar, a 1960s prize-winning Japanese race car, and a replica of the Benz patent motor wagon, the world's first automobile. But among these metallic machines is a simple item made of paper.
The artifact is 9 inches wide and 6 inches tall. It has a maroon leather cover. On the front of the artifact are the words "Motor Record."
This journal tells the tale of a daring trailblazer who drove her way into the history books.
This is a story about perseverance, adventure, and the open road.
It's 1909 in New Jersey. With the release of Henry Ford's Model T, the first mass-produced automobile, cars are becoming more accessible than ever.
Cars became very popular very quickly.
But there's one group of Americans who must still take the back seat: women.
There's no question about it. At this time, cars were driven mostly by men.
Driving is considered a masculine activity. Most cars are started using a hand crank, which requires substantial physical strength. And many believe that women are too weak to use it. Automobiles are also prone to frequent breakdowns, and women are thought to lack the mechanical know-how to handle repairs.
People thought it would have been very hard for a woman to handle a car of this age.
But one young New Jersey woman is determined to break this gender barrier. A 22-year-old named Alice Ramsey.
Alice was adventurous, a risk taker, and frankly didn't care a lot about what other people thought.
Alice wants to prove that women are as capable as men, and she knows just how to do it. She will become the first woman to drive across the country.
At this point in history, only a handful of people had driven across the United States. It's a very, very, very difficult thing to do. She wanted to show that women could do the same things that men did.
Alice intends to drive from New York City to San Francisco, California, a journey of nearly 4,000 miles, and she estimates it will take nearly 2 months. It won't be easy. The few roads that do exist are typically little more than muddy paths.
In most cases, they weren't even roads.
But Alice is undaunted. When she announces her drive to the press, it creates an immediate sensation.
This was very big news.
On June 9, 1909, Alice prepares to depart on her unprecedented journey. Wearing her finest dress, driving gloves, and goggles, she appears before a large crowd.
It was one of her most exciting days, maybe in her life.
Then she hops in and takes off. Initially, Alice makes excellent progress, cruising away from the eastern seaboard and winding her way west. Along the way, she records her adventures in her logbook, which is now on display at the Automotive Hall of Fame in Dearborn, Michigan. But 3 weeks into her trip, as Alice enters Iowa, she hits an unexpected bump in the road. Steam begins pouring out of the hood of her car. The vehicle lurches, sputters, and comes to a dead stop in the middle of nowhere.
This situation had the potential to bring this entire trip to a screeching halt.
So is this the end of the road for Alice? It's 1909. Alice Ramsey is attempting to become the first woman to drive across the United States. But halfway into her journey, her car breaks down, leaving her stranded in the middle of nowhere. So is this the end of the road for Alice? Alice pops the hood and quickly sees what's wrong. The engine has overheated. She needs to pour water inside to cool it down.
This is a great example of her ability to figure out solutions.
She didn't bring anything to drink, so she finds a water-filled ditch. And lacking a bucket, she's forced to ferry water back to her car using her toiletry case.
The tedium of spooning this water off the side of the road must have taken 4 or 5 hours.
Finally, Alice restarts the car and resumes her journey.
She succeeded, and she was able to get back on the road and continue her tour.
On August 7th, she rolls into San Francisco, cementing her place in history as the first woman to drive across the country.
She was very proud. She was a role model for other young women.
Today, Alice's driving journal is on display at the Automotive Hall of Fame. It recalls an ingenious trailblazer who crossed the nation to prove a point.